Hey, my name's James Nicholson. I hope you are well. A lot of people are waiting for properties to bottom out, and so they're sitting on the sidelines, not investing at the moment. However, there are some very good deals in the market at the moment. And this video, I want to talk about what property strategies work. You see, there's tons of investing strategies. Some of them aren't very good at the moment. So what ones are good? So we're going to jump into that in this video. So make sure you stick around till the end. If you haven't done already, do subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification. We're on the way to 7,000 subscribers. You could probably see around this video somewhere how close we actually are on that. And maybe you're watching not subscribed and you could be the 7,000th subscriber. And this month we're on target for 100,000 views on the channel. So help us get some more views and hit that target by smashing that like button, guys. If you smash that, that helps with the YouTube algorithm and we get more views on the content. So, strategy. What's the best strategy at the moment? Well, there are certain strategies that work better than others in any market. And you'll get some strategies that are just easy. For example, buy to let is pretty easy. Some might disagree, but you get a property, you make it look nice, you rent it out to someone, you use an agent, and barring any maintenance issues, you get your rent each month. That's how it should work. It doesn't always work quite as easy as that. But because it's easy or fairly hands-off, not too taxing, you'll find that the margins will be lower, right? And so we need to look in this market where we've got higher interest rates and we've potentially got house prices coming down. We need to look at strategies where we get better return on our cash invested. So that's what we want to talk about today. So one of those strategies is what we call HMOs. Now, this works in any market, but it's even better at the moment. And so this is where you take a property. It could be, for example, a 2-bedroom property that has 2 reception rooms, and you turn those 2 reception rooms into bedrooms as well. And then you rent it out on a room by room basis. So if you said in Doncaster you had a 2-bed house and you would rent that 2-bed house for around £600, right? Now, if you rent it out on a room by room basis, you'll get around £450 per room. So you're nearly getting £2,000 from the same property. Now, what are the pros and cons of this? Because of course it's not just that easy, right? Well, the pros are the cash flow is significantly better. Cons are you've got to pay for more bills. So you have to pay for the gas, the electric, the council tax. You've got to pay for internet. People would expect internet in this type of property. So for 450 quid, people are expecting to move in and have no bills. Now, in this market where people are really squeezed financially, maybe they've got high credit card debt, unemployment is rising, you'll find more people that want this type of accommodation. Unfortunately, when we go through difficult times, divorces go up. And so there'll be people that just need some short-term accommodation, and you can provide that with an HMO. This is similar, if you're thinking, well, this sounds like student accommodation. It's basically exactly the same, except for you're renting it out to normal people on a longer term basis, hopefully, right? So HMOs are really good because the cash flow is really good. Now, this in the north, you could buy a 100 grand house and make this into a 4 or 5 bedroom HMO fairly easily. It's not that difficult. You've got to check licensing and stuff like that. So I'm not going into more detail about legalities and stuff like that. I'm just giving you a strategy and saying, this is a strategy that can work really well. Go and explore. I've got more content on the channel about how this works. HMO is a high cash flow strategy and works really well in today's environment. With rising interest rates, maybe your mortgage was 300 quid when you got this property. Now it might go to 600 quid. So if you're renting it out, you might not make any profit at all. But if you turn it into an HMO, suddenly you can get profitable again, which is good. So HMO is a very good strategy. Another one is serviced accommodation. And so this is where you rent a property. A good friend of mine is doing this at the moment. He rents a property, well, he owns a property in Dorking, a house, a 2-bedroom house, and the rent he can get is around 1,600 quid. But his concern is his mortgage is going up. So his tenant has already asked to leave. He hasn't had to get rid of them. So he's got a vacancy coming up in the next few weeks. And he's decided he's going to go the Airbnb route. He's right next to a football stadium. Dorking, if you don't know, they're doing pretty good at football these days. They've gone up tons, had lots of promotions. They've even got a stadium in Dorking now. And so the serviced accommodation is a good option for him. There are people that go on walks. There's lots of bike rides around here. Dorking's an okay town. And so serviced accommodation, there isn't tons of it. So he's looking at that. And the nightly rate will be around 150 quid. And so he only needs to get 10 nights full to get the same money that he would off renting that property out. In fact, when you say you've got the bills, probably needs about 12 or 13 nights to break even on that. Then anything else above that is pure profit. So he's looking to make some really good profit running it as a serviced accommodation business. And you could do that too. You could have a flat that you rent out on Airbnb, and these need to be in the right types of areas, right? So a lot of people feel that having a beach property can do really well, and it can. In the summer, you can make very good money, but no one wants particularly to go to the beach in January. So then your income could go very low or zero. So serviced accommodation, where I find it works better, is in towns where you have ongoing demand, right? So you just have some nice ongoing demand. Say, for example, Birmingham, where there's people coming to that city constantly for different events, business and stuff like that. So those are the sorts of areas that I like. So serviced accommodation is another great strategy. Next is my favorite strategy, and the one I've been doing the most recently, and that's buy, refurbish, refinance, rent. Buy, refurbish, refinance, rent. And that's where you take a property that needs some love, right? And you're looking to add value to that property. How can you add value? Well, here's some examples of what I've done over the last couple of years. One, I took a studio flat and I turned it into a 1-bedroom flat. Very easy to do. Just put a stud wall up, cost me around £5,000. If you get the right layout, didn't need to add any windows and stuff like that. So that made that very, very easy and straightforward. So that was easy. I took a 1-bedroom flat and I turned that into a 2-bedroom flat. That was very, very easy. So I bought, I refurbished, then I refinanced. That means I got a new mortgage on that and they valued it higher, and then I rented it out. So with this strategy, I'm going to get more rent because I'm going to have a nicer property. It's going to be more desirable because it'll have more bedrooms. And then the value will go up, meaning I can pull more of my equity out and get more deals and not have so much risk in that property. So that works very, very well. We did it in Doncaster. You can see that on this channel, right? We've got videos on just the process of when we bought Georgia's first property, who's my older daughter. So we bought a 2-bedroom house at auction for 60k. We spent around 12 doing it up, and other costs were around 3. So we were in the deal for around 75k, which is pretty good. Now, just within a few months, we got that property revalued because it was now nice at 100 grand. So what did we have to do to that property? We had a brand new kitchen, we had a brand new bathroom, we had it replastered, we had it decorated throughout, we had new carpets, we cleaned up the garden, we gravelled the garden, and we just made that property more desirable. We painted the front windows, for example. They were wooden windows. We painted those and treated those. But it really wasn't that expensive to get this done because we used local labour. And up north, local labour is very, very cheap. This works down south as well, though, right? All of these strategies work down south. We've got a house in Hastings, and that house was an absolute shambles, and we did a refurbishment on that one and got it revalued and pulled out some equity on that one as well. And so this strategy works very well. And in today's market, you've got to look for high cash flow. So this strategy could work with this or this. So what would be the best strategy would be to find an ugly house that needs work, right? That means you can get it below market value. Refurbish it, refinance it, pull as much money as you can out so you've de-risked the deal significantly, and then look to either run it as a serviced accommodation if the area works well for that, or could you run it as an HMO? That's the best of both worlds. You've then increased the value, so then if the market drops, so this one, we've increased it from 60 to 100, so everyone's saying, well, what if the market drops 25%? Well, if it drops 25%, that's what we've got a mortgage on it, we're fine. We'll just hold on that property, we'll make good cash flow, and at some point we'll refinance and the market will recover eventually, right? And so, but it's not dropping in that area, it's actually going up. The south is dropping, the north is doing okay. But what we're looking to do is just protect ourselves. And this strategy, the buy, refurbish, refinance, does that. It protects you as a business owner. So what you want to do is add value and then look for the high cash flow strategies. Let me know your thoughts and comments on this one. What do you think about these strategies? It's interesting that a lot of people are sitting out the market at the moment. I think there's some good deals to be had, but it isn't every deal, right? There's around 5% of the market right now that will take a really good offer on your part, a below market value offer, because they want to sell fast because they've got the fear that the market has got impending downward trends. That's what you want to be doing, is finding those types of deals where you get it below market value, and then even though you bought it cheaper, you protect yourself by adding more value, doing the kitchens up, doing the bathrooms up, adding a bedroom if you can. That protects you from a downward trend. If you find those deals, then you should be going for them all day long, irrelevant of what the market's doing. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Do comment below, do like the video, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. As I said, we want to hit 100,000 views this month, so why don't you go and watch this one and give me one more view.